Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bell with Bobby Blaze. This is episode 51, and today we're going to be talking about our all-time favorite wrestling tees. I am your host, Professor Jeremy Vilmur. I am sitting on a futon, and now the star of the show, Bobby Blaze.
Hey, man, I hope you're not laying in that wet spot Melinda left in that futon. I told her to bring some baking powder in there. Man, that futon had some wet spots on it, Professor. I'm not going to lie. Oh, man. Good to be back on the air. Enjoy your futon, my friend. Melinda was there, and she left her mark.
Yes, she did. We are broadcasting live from the Bell Flophouse. How are you, everybody?
Welcome to our show, man.
Oh, no. Now we're off with a shot. What's happening, Bobby? How's everything going over your way?
Oh, man, it's going okay, just excited about this episode since we thought about this one last week, and I've been excited. We have good episodes, and sometimes if something comes up and talking to people, and, man, we start talking about, someone says something about a T-shirt, and they're like, I wouldn't wear one of these. They say like John Cena or something, some modern day, and I know he's been around for a long time. And the next thing is like, top 10 T-shirts. And we're not even going to do a top 10. We're going to do our favorite T-shirts. Mm-hmm. And you said, man, I got a lot to say about that. And I was like, so do I. And I know we had people interacting with us on Twitter and stuff. And I was like, this is going to be a fun topic, from our favorite T-shirts. So I'm just excited as usual, man. It's glad to be recording again and glad to be doing a podcast. And I'm glad we got a lot of friends and fans out there listening to us, man. I think they enjoy the show from what they give us the feedback on, at least my Twitter. It's all good. All good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And yes, welcome back, everybody out there in podcast and YouTube land. Thank you for joining us again. There's a couple things we got to cover today before we get started. But, I've been going back and listening to some of our old shows, and I realized we really dick around the first 10 minutes of the show. I think we're going to start moving, after this episode, I think we're going to move shout-outs and everything to the center of the show, so we don't do that anymore. Yeah. All right, so in news this week, we have lost one of the greatest champions of all time.
Yes.
We are going to take a quick couple seconds and, have a three bell salute to Harley Race.
Rest in peace, Harley Race.
It's funny when you look at his title reigns now. 8 doesn't sound like a lot, but when he was an 8-time NWA champion, that was a shit ton of times.
Oh, man, absolutely. And he was, they said, the last real world champion. We've talked about it in our special Legit Tough Guys. He come in at number 3. He could have easily been at number 1, just the way we did our list for the podcast as well as for the YouTube channel. That interview, there's so many people that I've seen that talked about how legit tough Harley was. Just what a true champion he was. And he always said, the greatest champion on God's green earth, that whole stick he did, and I saw him just look at that camera a couple of times. Cause I watched ours that's on the YouTube, and I watched several other ones where he just looked at the camera and let people know, I will challenge anyone. If you think you can get in a ring with me, and he does that one where he's shooting on Hulk Hogan, I think, and it doesn't mention Hogan, but it mentions New York, and it's just so intense, man. And the thing is, he could just a tremendous worker, but legitimate tough guy too. And he's been sadly missed throughout the wrestling world. And I don't know if there's anyone that probably didn't respect Harley Race as a wrestler, as a champion, and just probably as a human being too. Just one of them rare people, man, that had a car wreck in the first year, and they say he's never going to walk again. Here he ended up having since he was 15 years old, only thing he ever done was professional wrestling, So, man, just 76, he had a good run, that's what I say.
That's not bad.
Stuff, but rest
no, that is not bad.
So
Harley Race was one of those guys, if a couple times guys tried to go over on him when they weren't supposed to, and he fucking put them in their place. Yeah, he was that last of that era. I mean, Ric Flair was no slouch, and Ric Flair was champ because he could do the same thing. Harley Race was a man in a wheelchair that I would not have fucked with.
Yeah.
Guys, there is a book out there if you want to check it out, that I have not read, but I've heard good things about. You can get to it by going to tinyurl.com/bbkingharley. The book is called King of the Ring, The Harley Race Story.
Nice. I'm going to check it out myself, man. So that's tinyurl.com/bbkingharley.
King
and
Harley.
The book is called what?
It's called King of the Ring, The Harley Race Story.
Okay, all right. Check that out, fans. and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's by Harley Race, Jerry Tritz, and Bret Hart wrote the forward to it.
Nice. Okay.
So that should be a good one, and I will be checking it out soon. But I just did a quick search to find out what info there was out there, and that is what I came up with.
Good deal.
All right, yeah. So we got any shout outs or anything we want to do before we get started?
No. We'll talk about some of the people maybe during the show. We'll see. Just kind of we have this t-shirts, man. These all-time favorite wrestling tees, and I'll mention a couple people that wrote me on Twitter, give me theirs. I'll start off by saying, with the graphics that Tex sent out, we'll go ahead and put his over first. He put a graphic out there, and we use them on our, page, our Twitter pages. And one of them was, I thought he sent me one of the Mick Foley one, the Cactus Jack, Wanted Dead or Alive. And then he said his personal favorite was the Hulkamania shirt. No, I'm just kidding you, Tex. I'm just kidding. He liked the Wahoo McDaniel. What would Wahoo do? That was his personal favorite. So I wanted to start the show off and just give Tex that. If you want to give it a shout out, that's fine, because he's over doing the thing down in the boiler room with the YouTube channel and stuff. So he sent a good one with the Cactus Jack Wanted Dead or Alive t-shirts, pretty popular. But his favorite was the What Would Wahoo Do t-shirt, and I think that's going to take us to another t-shirt about Wahoo too, and I'm going to let you tell us about that one, because my understanding, I think you may still own one.
Oh, I absolutely do. It is one of my favorite t-shirts to wear, because people always ask me, either people ask me what it is, or they come up and they bump my arm like, "Hey, great shirt," and then they know what it is.
Yeah, what's that one? What is that one?
Well, this is the I broke Wahoo's leg t-shirt.
Ah, yeah, man.
And I love this shirt. Just the quick backstory was I don't remember what territory. Wahoo was working a program against Greg Valentine. And I think he had to go back to the AWA territory for a month or two. So, Greg the Hammer Valentine puts him in the figure 4. Wahoo takes a powder, and so Greg Valentine starts wearing the I Broke Wahoo leg shirt on TV.
There you go. No.
And probably almost got himself stabbed a time or two, I assume.
Yeah, probably. Probably had to fight his way out of a fucking couple of arenas wearing that thing. Yeah, I knew you had a backstory to that t-shirt, though, man. Didn't you wear it in junior high?
Well, no, I've worn it a few times in my life, but most recently was my ex-wife and I were in Vancouver a year or two back.
Okay.
And we're in one of these East Van stores, like this little neighborhood in East Vancouver, this little hippy dippy spot, and I'm wearing that shirt, and a lady comes up and she's got this thick Winnipeg accent, and she says, "Oh, who's Wahoo?" So I tell her the story real quick, and then she goes, "Oh, would he have ever wrestled Baron von Raschke?" I'm like, yeah, he would have.
Probably a time.
And then, as soon as I get that out of my mouth, she goes, "Oh, you got a little bit of an accent there." And I'm like, no, I don't. You've got a little bit of an accent. My speech is just fine.
Yeah. Or she could have thought you was country, like when we first started this podcast. I know Adam out there, he said, "You boys are as country as can be." And you said, "Well, I do kind of live in the country, but I think I'm the one with the accent. I think you talk normal."
Yeah, I just got that middle American, I could live anywhere in the country and nobody would think I was completely out of place.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw another one out. I know we've got a graphic to go by, and we've got some numbers and stuff. We kind of have an idea what t-shirt's probably the most over of all time, but we want to talk about a little bit all of them. One of my shout outs can go to my man, Metal Mike McDowell from here in Ashland. He sent me the Hot Rod, the Roddy Piper shirt. Ronda Rousey wears now, with his blessing, I guess. But man, Mike sent me that one in, and I really always liked that Hot Rod shirt too. I really did. And I took a couple of the people that sent them off Twitter. Someone else sent, can't remember who the other person was, that said they liked the Hot Rod one. And then one of them we're going to talk about, had a whole bunch of people talk about it. But yeah, that Hot Rod t-shirt, that was one of the most over t-shirts. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw this one out around the same time, of course, when the Hulkamania t-shirts, of course. So I don't know about this. Got to really fact check it. It kind of went with something Tex wrote in our notes there too. Was I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there, so we got all three of them together, Jeremy, to kind of give us a point of talking here.
Sure.
The Macho Man T-shirt. So with the glasses, So, but I dare say Piper might have been the first heel during this area we're talking about, that had a T-shirt. Would that be true? You think the Hot Rod T-shirt?
Okay, so without doing any actual research or reading on it, I would say that it is, because I remember that was the first t-shirt, that was the first wrestling t-shirt I ever saw out in the wild.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You know, just somebody wearing it. Yeah.
Okay. So around that time period, all the first WrestleMania 1 and 2, and then around that mid-'80s type thing. And then Tex had put, he thought the Macho Man might have been her first heel, but it's actually, I think he said, when he turned face, that Macho Man shirt that's so popular. But that's 3 popular T-shirts you'd see out back in the day. But I'm going to say I saw that Hot Rod one way before I saw any of the other ones out, like you said, in mainstream, people wearing them around. So, pretty popular T-shirt, man.
Yeah. First off, it looked a lot better on Ronda Rousey, but but you know, Roddy Piper coming to the ring with his kilt and that leather jacket, it was just looked tough as shit, you know, when he'd come out. And he was one of the only guys. So, okay, a little something I'm going to share real quick. It makes me crazy when a wrestler talks to the camera on his way out. Like, I realize it's like trying to find something to do with your hands. You're walking, there's a fucking camera in your face. You got to do something. But usually you just see guys just start jacking their jaws and doing whatever. But Roddy Piper, when he'd come out and do it, you got a little scared. Yeah. Because, you know, he was a little crazy, Roddy Piper, and it came through. Yeah. So he's one of the few guys who ever, like, did that in a way that I was like, yeah, you don't fuck with him. Yeah.
I got scared when I was in the ring with him. He wasn't even in the ring yet. He was talking to the camera, and he started calling me Ric Flair. He said, this kid thinks he's Ric Flair, you know, and I was like, oh, shit, he ain't talking to camera there. He's talking to me. You know, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother episode we've already talked about. But, yeah, I put that Hot Rod shirt over, man. That's pretty good shirt right there. We mentioned Hogan, of course, the Macho Man with the glasses. Everyone, you know, if you're not wearing, you don't be wearing sunglasses in the swimming pool. You know, you don't be wearing sunglasses at the gym. You don't be wearing sunglasses at the beach. You don't be wearing sunglasses anywhere unless your name is Randy the Macho Man Savage. That's the only person that, maybe Elvis back in the day, but I'm going to say no one else needs to wear sunglasses except for the Macho Man. I don't care if you're at the beach, the gym, or pool. Get them off.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a friend of mine passed away a couple weeks ago, and I actually went with my ex to the funeral, and he died at my age from a heart attack. And, you know, I just had a heart attack in December.
Yeah.
So on my way to the funeral, I stopped and bought sunglasses. I didn't take them off for a day and a half. You know, I was just like, I know. Yeah. I know I got swollen eyes and shit. I ain't taking nothing off my face. Okay. But yeah, other than that, don't wear sunglasses indoors.
That's right, man. Let's see. You want to jump to another one? Because I know where I'm going to go with my next one, but I'm going to let you go ahead and jump.
Yeah. What do you got next?
Oh, go ahead and throw yours in there. Go ahead.
Well, so, all right. So the one I'm going to go with, and this one, you know, anybody that knows me or knows my brother, knows our family, the American Dream, son of a plumber.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is Dusty Rhodes through and through. And I've said it before. My little brother is named after Dusty Rhodes.
Right.
We both own that shirt, and our dad was a plumber. So
oh,
you know,
man, a little special. And with that said, you know, my favorite one, my personal favorite, is the Funk You shirt. So since you mentioned the Dusty one there, son of a plumber, how about the Dusty's an egg-sucking dog?
Oh, that's a good one.
So I know we don't have a graphic on that, but that's another personal favorite, too. So we can kind of be the face and the heel of the professor over there, son of a plumber, you know, the all-American, the American dream, and then a Funk You with Dusty's an egg-sucking dog, you know. So that's a good shirt, man. Yeah, that's a real good one. That was just that shirt that, you know, it's just over, you know, back in the day. And I can see why it's one of your favorites, and you got a personal story with it, too, you know. So,
oh, yeah.
The American Dream, some of the plumber.
Oh, yeah. I think the T-shirt he wore said Dusty sucks eggs, but I think the speech was Dusty's an egg sucking dog.
Okay, so Dusty sucks eggs with the shirt.
Yeah, I think that was it.
There'd be for the save out there in YouTube land.
Yeah.
Speaking of YouTube, that's tinyurl.com/BBBB video, and you can check out our YouTube channel right there. That's a shortcut to it. So for anyone out there listening that wants to check out some of our videos. So
yeah, absolutely. Tex does our graphics and our videos. Yep. I hope you remember to send him some food down there, because I haven't sent any. He's down in the boiler room, you know, slaving away in high temperatures over a broken old computer. He's still working on a Apple II.
Well, he does it, but he does it. And he does a great job at it.
Shit, he told me he does it mostly on his phone. I was even more baffled then.
Man, well, I'll tell you where I'm going to jump to, because we was talking about heels there with the Roddy Piper shirt, the Hot Rod.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of holding this back. I'm not going to throw out any, just so everyone knows, there's no Freebird rule in effect today because we're not doing a certain order or anything. But I was hoping that this shirt would, I don't have a graphic on it because the graphic is etched upon my mind forever. But probably one of the first heel T-shirts was Dr. X, man. Okay? I don't know if you remember the Dr. X T-shirts, but the memory I have is Debbie Harry at the LA Forum in a pair of panties on stage, nothing but panties and a fucking Dr. X T-shirt, man. So I think maybe Dr. X might be the first heel to have a T-shirt out there. But I saw that and I'm like 15 years old. And, man, if I'm going blonde, I'm going Debbie Harry Blondie. If I'm going dark, I'm going with, Joan Jett. I'll go with her. Those.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So, I know it has nothing to do with the show, but I'll take a brunette, I'll take Joan Jett, and I'll take the blonde, I'll take Debbie Harry. Give away my age there, but Debbie Harry, the Dr. X T-shirt. I think that Dr. X T-shirt was over, man, because he sold those in the magazines, I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah, he did. That was a selling motherfucker right
that's
there.
That's the first T-shirt, I wonder.
Well, let's see. Debbie Harry, so we're talking late 70s, early 80s. That might have predated Hot Rod.
Yeah, I want to say I saw it in junior high school in like Cream magazine, something like that. Yeah. Guitar or something, maybe even Rolling Stone, who knows. But anyway, all right, so I just want to throw that out there. We had the Dr. X T-shirts. I'm going to let you talk about the Outsiders and the NWO for life and that right there, because I know where I'm going to go next. But I think it's, I know you said those are high on your list from back in the day. You want to talk about them right now?
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. I just Googled Debbie Harry and I'm looking at her picture. So yeah, let me switch that page out there. Okay, there we go. Yes.
Now imagine
you
see that for the first time.
God damn. Well, I remember I was a little kid the first time I saw her, and I think either her or Linda Carter ushered me into puberty at like the age of 6.
I hear you.
So yeah, the NWO. Okay. Let's get serious for a moment here, folks. NWO. So the one thing on my list, and I know we can argue about this, and I've never checked actual sales numbers. I would say the NWO T-shirt is probably the most consequential T-shirt in wrestling history. Before the NWO T-shirt, you did not see people wearing wrestling T-shirts out in public very often. But then the NWO happened, the Monday Night Wars started, and everybody was wearing an NWO T-shirt. Yeah,
they had the NWO for life T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually we had the Outsiders, right? That kind of, before the Outsiders showed up, that turned into like your NWO. So you're saying that's when, I think, the same thing around that same time period, because that's WCW, and you got the NWO, the New World Order hit, and that son of a bitch was over when Hogan made that turn. We've talked about that before. But there on the other channel, there are some other T-shirts coming out too, and I think that's when this merch really started being mainstreamed. It was cool to wear a wrestling T-shirt. So I know we're not going to like get into this big controversial type thing, but a lot of people wrote in about the NWO, and a lot of people wrote in about Austin 316 being up there top. So those two, you got like you said, the Monday Night Wars, and you got people, and with cable expanding like they did with the wrestling, top 10 cable shows, like 8 of them are fucking wrestling related, with Raw and Nitro and Thunder and SmackDown worldwide. I know I could fact check it, but at one time 8 out of 10 was wrestling shows on cable TV around 98 or so, 97, 98, and man, that merch was being pushed, and it didn't even have to be pushed because people would see it and go, oh fuck, that is a cool shirt, and they went out and got one, and it was either NWO for life, eventually NWO red, NWA white, and of course over on the other side they had the Austin 316 and everything else going on, that gimmick machine over there, the merchandise machine from WWE pushing their stuff. So that's some over merch, man. So
absolutely. Yeah, I was trying to think maybe the DX would be on that list as well. Yeah. If I were going to say like top top t-shirts from that time period. I mean, NWO for me would be top, but you're probably right. I think maybe the Austin shirt would outsold everybody.
I don't know that because, NWO is a huge. I'm just going by just what some of the people did write on Twitter. They put over the Austin t-shirt in their memory. But see, like you said, DX, they sold a shitload of stuff, man, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's popular. And you still see some of that stuff being worn.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Man, there's so many more we can go with on here. I know we've got it just, kind of jumping around a little bit. Do you have any more to say about the NWO or red and white or anything?
Well, you know what, just those, we'll just stick with Austin, NWO, and DX, but I would say before then, it was not cool to be wearing wrestling shit out in public, right?
I think you're right, man. I think that's when it really started. They started pushing that merch. Like I said, probably just took one or two of them being sold, because at that time, when someone saw it out, they're like, it's cool to wear it again. And they hit the gimmick stands at the wrestling shows, and I'm sure the magazines had all the ads in there and the DVDs and all that shit. Get your T-shirts here, get your merch here.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, good stuff.
Well, and just those things like the NWO. I think the NWO made wrestling cool. But was anybody ever more over than Steve Austin as that character, that version of Steve Austin?
Oh,
we all wanted to tell the boss.
Exactly. Yeah, we've talked about that before, man. Him and McMahon, that was good stuff. You're right.
And, that thing too, it's like, I say this about Jake the Snake all the time, like he had a way of talking that just grabbed you. And Steve Austin had that, but Steve Austin didn't do it by terrifying you. Steve Austin did it in a way that made you want to go out and punch somebody in the neck.
Yeah, for sure.
You listen to Steve Austin talk, when he's done, you're like, yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah. He's got you fired up, man. He's got you fired up. He sure does, man. Oh, man, I'm sure there's a lot of other T-shirts from that time period. Let's go back in time a little bit. I'll tell you who I saw sell a lot of T-shirts with a Rock and Roll Express. But I'll tell you another heel team that's probably over that had their own T-shirt, and that was the Four Horsemen. We've talked about them on this show enough. Go back there. We've already talked about Wahoo and Flair, the broke Wahoo's leg shirt, Dusty shirts, and that. Go back to that time period. But the Four Horsemen, they had their shirt, man. They had that gimmick with, they were the stable. They were the studs, I don't, not cross-reference there, but they held that sign out there. They had them horses on that T-shirt, man. They went on air with their workout trunks on or wearing their T-shirts when they weren't, when Flair wasn't styling and profiling, which was very rare. He had on that Horseman T-shirt, and he was strutting and shining, man. That was an over T-shirt back in the day. I
never liked that graphic, but the Horsemen were so cool that you're like, fuck it.
I agree with you. They could have done a lot better with that. But, and consider the time period, though. I'm sure they've done a whole lot with it now. Same thing with Jerry Lawler's shirt with him throwing fire, Jerry the King Lawler. I'm not really crazy about that graphic, and I'm sure it was an old Memphis thing, when the merch down there first hit. We've talked about that before because they always had the gimmick words. Every arena show they had, man, they had the gimmick words, which is going to take me to one of my personal favorites, man, is because I'm a Cornette guy. So the fake.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen so many people. Well, I go to some of these same events that Cornette goes to when I get out to some of them. And I can believe that Cult of Cornette, I see them people wearing the Cornette face shirt, man. It just cracks me up. My personal favorite, though, is the thank you, fuck you, bye. I used to say that, and when I was listening to his podcast, when he started talking about that, I said, man, what a gimmick that is. I've said that before so many times. Thank you, fuck you, bye. And he was smart enough. That's why he's the boss. That's why
That's right.
He figured out a way to make money off of it, man. But no, that Cornette shirt is over for me. That face where he's just looking like, what the fuck, that's over. I don't, other than cult members, I'm sure there's not a whole lot of people wearing it, same thing with Lawler. Unless you're an old school Memphis fan, they probably would a whole lot of people wearing those shirts and stuff. But, anyway, man, name some more shirts from back in the day that you really liked, or what do you think nowadays? If you wear is anyone out there nowadays have a shirt that you'd even want to wear, even though we're a little bit older now?
The Bullet Club, maybe not right at this moment, but like a year or two back, the Bullet Club shirts were hot. You know who I like, even though I can't quite get my head around him as a character? Marty Scurll.
Okay.
You watch him and he's kind of over, but he's supposed to be playing a villain, but people still cheer him. So that's a little weird. But, his in-ring antics are kind of fun. And he had a villain shirt that was kind of based on the Bullet Club shirt that I like the look of, too. That was pretty
cool. Yeah, I see shirts that some of these shows the young guys have and stuff, and sometimes I get them and wear them to work out in and things like that. But I'm just an old fuck. I don't, don't wear a lot of the wrestling T-shirts anymore. If I was going to wear one, if I had to pick a couple, I'd probably go with the Hot Rod one. I'd still wear that if and I wear the Funk You one. The Funk You one I've got is so worn out it's pitiful, but I've got it as a keepsake. And I'd probably wear the Thank You, Fuck You, Bye T-shirt. Those are probably the three I'd want to wear nowadays, but I probably won't be seen in any of them soon. So, anyway.
Let me think here. There was another one I was going to bring up.
And I know we kind of kicked around this subject, and that was the idea of this podcast, because hopefully some people will hit us up at on Twitter. I'm at Bobby Blaze 744. Jeremy's at the Geekish Cast, or you can help our joint account, which is Bell to Bell Blaze, and use the hashtag BBBB and let us know what your favorite T-shirt was or is. And it can be something recent or new if that's what your deal is. We just wanted to go with some of the shirts that were our all-time favorite wrestling T-shirts back when we were younger, back when we were watching the programs a whole lot more. And probably, I think Jeremy really hit on it with that NWO and then the Steve Austin, that era there around 97, the Attitude Era, what do you want to call it, the Monday Night Wars and stuff. Man, that merch just took off, man. And it was cool again. If you ever were the kid that was probably, that did wear a T-shirt back in the day when you was probably, 5, 10, 12 years old or whatever, if you did wear a wrestling T-shirt then, and people probably like, well, who the fuck's Wahoo, or who broke whose leg or whatever, they don't know. But so you might have went through that era or be at that age. But when that hit, when the NWO and the Monday Night Wars hit, it was cool, like Jeremy said, to be seen wearing wrestling merchandise again. Yeah, you might have been through the Hot Rod stage or the Hulkamania stage earlier or 10 years earlier or what have you. But, man, when that Monday Night War hit, the merch flew off the gimmick tables, and it was cool again to wear wrestling gear, or gimmicks rather, T-shirts. Guess what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I don't know that before, like Austin in the NWO shirt, I don't know that it was ever cool.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing with wrestling, like it attracts like macho tough guy shit, but also like there's like a nerd streak to it.
Well, I was going to use that word actually. If you was like a nerd in grade school, maybe, and wore something that was wrestling related, I don't remember people really doing that.
Yeah,
we had a Macho Man press on that you got down at the Army for like $1. You just go home and you iron it on. It's something like you got to have a damn cereal box. You just iron it onto a white T-shirt. They were down there peddling those gimmicks. Of course, that's when black and white pictures were just $0.25, and you could get a little color photo for like $1, or a little 4x6 photo for like $1. But with the old ICW, so anyone that showed up with that kind of merch, there's that. Or what do you want to call it back in the day, gimmicks or a wrestling shirt or what have you. It was rare that, you might, around where I was at, I'd see a lot of the same people, a lot of the same shows being in this area, whether it be in Huntington or Ashland, Ironton, wherever they come close to, even Charleston as I got older, in Lexington. I saw a whole lot of the same people, but man, very rarely, I don't think I ever saw anyone outside the building wearing anything wrestling related or really even talking about that much. You might even talk about the magazines and trade them and be a part of I never traded tapes, but I traded magazines and photos with people through the mail and from different arenas and stuff. And but as far as the wearing and stuff, I think it may have been considered a little bit nerdy. I don't know. Not to insult anyone, not there's anything wrong with that. I just don't remember people doing it prior to. Like I said, we mentioned most T-shirts in the 80s with Hot Rod and Hulkamania and stuff. I don't think it's to when you're talking about when that Monday Night War hit that really that's when people started wearing the stuff, and it's like, no nerds, it's just cool, Geeks, it's just cool, if you're a wrestling fan, you wore it, if you was NWO, you wore it. If you was NWO Black, NWO Red, NWO White, if you were, Austin guy or whoever, you wore it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think, like, again, I'm just repeating myself, but I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that before then. And maybe the Bullet Club has come closest most recently, maybe.
I think you're probably right, and I'm glad you got the DX one, because I remember back in the day, I think their merch did sell too. And I'd say probably at Bullet Club, I'm drawing a blank. I don't watch a lot of products. I'm with you. I'm other than that Bullet Club being pretty popular, seeing that around, a lot of people wore it too. I think you might be right on that. So just out of curiosity, you probably can look it up real quick. Who's selling the most merch T-shirts today? What is the one that the kids? What are all the kiddies wearing nowadays? So we could bring.
Well, let's take a moment and we'll go ahead and do that.
That's what I figure you might want to do, because I'm all out of our old school ones. We just kind of went through all of them. Austin 316, the Piper Hot Rod one, the Macho Man one, the Cactus Jack one, a Dead or Alive. I broke Wahoo's leg, Dr. X, Hulkamanias, the NWO for life, the Four Horsemen, the King. Tex mentioned honorable mention one for I'm an Animal Lover for George the Animal Steel. I didn't ever see that around, but then your favorite, of course, the American Dream, Some of a Plumber. Those type things. We went through all those. What? You mentioned Bullet Club being hot here in the last year and a couple years prior to that. What's the hottest things out there nowadays? And don't fucking tell me the Young Bucks.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm not going to say anything, but I think that might be it.
I didn't have to look it up. I'm just a savant idiot.
I was trying to steer clear of that because, we've been having a good time. We're laughing. We're getting along. There's no need to mention those super kicking son of bitches right now.
So it is over though, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What else is on there? Just curious.
Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Ronda Rousey.
Oh, good.
I just lost that page. Hang on here. The Shield, I guess that would be a year or two back though, but yeah.
All right then. Well,
it's, I'll tell you what, here's the thing, Finn Balor. So what it is, where I will put my money on this, it's, Pretty Boys and whoever the company is putting the money behind.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds about right. But I'll say this, and I know
Oh, I assume the AEW t-shirt's hot.
Yeah,
right?
There you go. That's probably pretty hot. Yeah. Good one. The whole thing is about merchandising, and if right now, like you said, AEW shirts, I have seen those around. Especially online, not so much in person, but I'm sure if I went to more shows, I would see them, in person shows or shirts rather. The thing about this, man, we talk about merch and, I got to put them over to an extent. The Young Bucks, at least they learn how to market their merchandise. You know what I'm saying? So I think we've talked about that before. I give a little, devil is due, their little credit where it's due, I guess. I was just sitting there while you was looking. I was like, man, I know they're probably on that list somewhere because they peddle their shit, man. And good for them. That's the whole idea of the business. If you're in it, you've got to try to make money. So. Yep.
Nobody's doing this for their health.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. I assume the Rusev Day t-shirt is probably over.
Okay.
One of my favorites that I have seen is, I've seen a Pro Wrestling from Hollywood. A guy came out to the ring, about a year ago wearing a t-shirt that was the Buffet Club. That one was kind of funny. Okay. Heavy set guy. He had like a chicken wing in his mouth. Yeah. That was pretty good.
Yeah. The Dad Bods, I think, is a little 3-man team that's trying to do some stuff similar to that around here. All the guys come out and they do a little bit of dance and this and that, and they just kind of got the dad bod thing. I don't know if that's something new in wrestling or not, but it's not hard to achieve. Just drink beer and eat like I do. As Tony Schiavone told me about Dusty Rhodes, he said, just think, you too can be a fat old ex-champion, Bobby. So you might have thrown the word drunk in there too. I don't remember.
Yeah, we don't let people talk about Dusty Rhodes like that on this show.
No. But yeah, so we've got the American Dream, Son of a Plumber t-shirt. For me, it's the Funk You, and for Tex, it is What Would Wahoo Do? And then we had several people that did write in with the Austin 316, and a bunch of people wrote in with the Hot Rod one. And then we talked about every damn t-shirt coming and going. Anything else to do or say before we pay a couple more bills, Jeremy? You have any more shout outs or anything? I know you're.
Well, what we should do real quick is tell everybody about your books.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got 2 books and you can get them. If you go to Amazon, they're both available there. But here's the way you can help the program out. Pin Me, Pay Me, my first book. Pin Me, Pay Me, Have Boostful Travel. Just go to tinyurl.com/blazebook1, and that'll take you right to the link. The show gets a little kickback, and you can purchase the book. If you want to read my second book, I kicked that on too, The Educational Wrestler. All you do, go to tinyurl.com/blazebook2. It'll take you right there. Again, doesn't cost you any extra. but the show gets a little bit of kickback from that. And I appreciate it, I get a little kickback from you purchasing the book. The show, Pin Me, Pay Me book, I kicked out on 2 book. If you buy either one of them, that little bit of kickback goes over to, I guess, just what do we call it here, Jeremy? That goes to the program. We put it in it just helps pay for a hosting fees or any other things occur during podcast. We've had a GoFundMe to help support this show. The books help support the show. Let me mention this, the Amazon Prime. If you try Amazon Prime for 30 days, it's free. You can do that. I'll let you tell me a little bit more about that. But again, the show does get a little bit like $2 or $3, but folks, it adds up and it does support the show, and we appreciate that. So tinyurl.com/blazebook1 for Pin Me, Pay Me. tinyurl.com/blazebook2 for I kicked out on 2. And Jeremy, why don't you tell them about Amazon Prime?
Okay, so Amazon Prime is a hell of a deal. If you are not taking advantage of it, you are missing out. Again, I've been off cable for years and years. I use it for watching movies and TV shows. But also with Amazon Prime, you get access to music and 1-day shipping if you're in the right markets, 2-day at most. You get everything you want for free shipping in 2 days. That's pretty awesome. I buy most of my, honestly, at this point in my life, I buy most of my household wares that way too. I need like a blender. I get it on Amazon. It's here in a day or two. You want a fondue pot? It's there. You can watch old Memphis wrestling on there. Amazon does everything, Bobby, is what I'm trying to say.
I know the last couple of things I've ordered, I've got them the very next day. And I have saved money on shipping, and I have enjoyed several old movies I've mentioned last few weeks. I've got a couple of series I do watch, but they're in between shows right now, I guess, in between seasons, if you will. But I am completely happy with my Amazon Prime, and I know if you're out there listening, if you give it a try for 30 days, it's totally free to try. It's totally free. Just go to BB Try Prime, tinyurl.com/BB Try Prime. And again, the show gets a little bit of kickback from that, and every little penny helps. And also, we're trying to save you some money on that deal, because even if you just order a book for $5 or $10, the shipping might be $5 on that book. Man, I order books, and I get them usually in the next day or two now. And also, I save $4 or $5 for shipping. Ship books, little paperback books, sometimes I can get them for $2.99, and shipping was $3.99. Now I just get it shipped free, and I save my money that way. Plus, I get the streaming and the music. I was just talking to a good friend of mine the other day. He uses Prime. He loves it. I don't think you can go wrong using Amazon Prime, folks. I wouldn't. No. Yeah, the $2 or $3 that the show gets a kickback from, that's great. But I'm telling you, as a fan, you're going to save money in the long run, and you're going to enjoy being an Amazon Prime member. So that's my deal right there. I'll just tell you, So
and this, my grandson has been out of town for the last month, and my son and he and I get together on Thursday nights and watch a movie. Well, with my grandson being gone, me and my son were like, hey, we should watch horror films for the next month. That's all we're going to watch.
Okay.
So we watched Adam Green's Hatchet series. All of it except one movie was available for free on Prime. One of the best slasher film series ever made. It's the blood amount in this movie is so over the top it almost becomes comical. It looks like they put it on with a fire extinguisher. I mean, that is just over the top. But yeah, the nice thing about Amazon is you jump on there, you want to buy something, you can buy it. You want to watch something, they got something to watch. I use it to stream music to my phone. Literally, you can get everything through there. And for 30 days, you can try it free. Bobby, where can they go to?
They can go to tinyurl.com/BB Try Prime.
There you go.
That's that. Yeah,
check it out.
Yes.
Check it out.
All right, Professor. We've talked about T-shirts, man, and we've talked about a shitload of T-shirts. I think you're going to put up some links later on and send them out that people can go and they may be able to purchase some of these T-shirts. Is that correct?
That's right. What I'm going to try to do is do tinyurl.com/BB and then shirt and a number. That's what I'm going to shoot for anyways. Mm-hmm. So, we will see what we can do to get that going.
Right on, man. Right on. And if you're out there listening, hit us up on Twitter. I know there's we've got our YouTube channel. We've got a Facebook page, but you can hit me up on Twitter at BobbyBlaze744, Jeremy up at the Geekish Cast, or the joint account at Bell to Bell Blaze. use the hashtag BBBB if you want to. It's a little bit easier that way for me, but I see it and I say, hey, all right, we left that T-shirt off, or we should have had this T-shirt. We may say, you know what? You may fact check it. You may say, oh yeah, well, Austin's shirt outsold NWO, or NWO outsold Austin, or whatever. Anything like that, hit us up on Twitter and let us know, man. Share it with us, because unlike the YouTube comments, because I don't read the comments, I leave that to the professor and I leave it to Tex down in the boiler room. I let them handle that. But now on Twitter, I stay active on that, and I do like to hear the feedback on there about the show and about my books and about old school wrestling and just all that good stuff, man. So that's my social media, and I dig it. And that's all I really got to say, other than I'm sorry about that wet spot Melinda left on your futon. But I know you love that futon, man. And,
I do. That's it's really my favorite piece of furniture now.
I'm gonna sign off, man. I'm gonna let you finish this up here on the program. I'm just gonna clock out, man. So,
well, I also want to share this story real quick. My little brother just posted on Facebook a link on Kayfabe News, and it opens with this. Thanks to the $400 replica of a WWE Championship belt slung over his shoulder, 26-year-old wrestling fan Todd Higgins spent the afternoon moseying around the Squared Circle Heroes Convention with an emotional state somewhat resembling self-esteem. Don't take your fucking replica belts out in public, people. What the fuck? I mean, if you do take it out in public, you should have to defend it.
Oh, man. I know that's one of your pet peeves.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's I'm a nerd. I've got a belt. I've got the NWA title. You know what? It's on the wall with my lightsaber where it belongs. Okay. I don't take either one of those fucking things out in public. All right. Well, with that said, I'm gonna go post just a bunch of links to replica title belts now and see if anybody buys them in Defiance just for shits and giggles. Well, Bobby, it's been a blast. This was a fun topic. I enjoyed it.
I did too, man. I'm just going to go here and put me a wife beater on and drink some beer.
There you go. Maybe write "Pin Me, Pay Me" on the front of your shirt.
Why not?
Yeah. Me and Tex talked about this, so we are going to do a bit about Olivia Walker for the YouTube channel here pretty soon.
That sounds good.
He's going to script it. I'm going to record it, and then you and I are going to talk about it. I think is the format we're doing.
Great. Just keep me in the loop.
I'm really looking forward to that. No, I think it should be fun if we start doing just so we're that age now where the people we grew up who were important in wrestling, we're losing them now, or they're gone. Mm-hmm. And if we don't talk about them, they're gonna be forgotten.
Yeah.
So this is our opportunity, me and you and Tex, to help people remember these people.
Yeah, and we've talked about doing that stuff on the YouTube channel, and I'm looking forward to getting to some of those. That's going to have to be the format. We'll have to, one of us, do some writing, which we're all three good at, and format it in a way, and that way we can come on and talk about it, and we can present it to the YouTube channel and keep these people. We've done Unsung Heroes, and we're talking about Olivia Walker from last week there on the program, if you're just, catching into this program. So, yeah, we need to honor those people. Like you said, we've got that Harley Race on the tough, legitimate tough guys. He's on several lists on the YouTube channel. He's on the greatest world champions on there. We had, him and Flair and Bockwinkel, up there. So again, Harley's on top of a lot of our lists, and you can find those on the YouTube channel too. And that's at just tinyurl/ BB video, you find any of those. And those tough guys ones, those really took off, legitimate badasses. And I'm really looking forward to these little, probably 7 to 10, maybe 15-minute segments we're going to do special for the YouTube channel. And Olivia Walker, I think we decided to be the first one. That's going to be exciting, man. So anyway, it seems like every time I'm trying to we trying to get something going, and it's like, okay, this is a great idea. We just gotta, I know we got a Patreon coming up pretty soon. We're talking about doing. Some of you fans are gonna be involved in stuff. We're really just trying to keep this podcast going and having fun with it. And like you mentioned earlier, man, today was a fun topic because of all the T-shirts we got to mention. I got to get that image in my head once again of Debbie Harry. Woo, man, wearing the Doc T-shirt. So I got
to tell you, I buried the page where I was looking at Debbie Harry images, but I did not close it. So, So, I'll be coming back to that later, I'm sure. Well, okay, Bobby. Well, it's been a blast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Until next time, for Bobby Blaze, for myself, Jeremy Vilmur, bye-bye, everybody.